Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to our next segment of On the Blockchain here at LTR Digital, where we continue to explore blockchain technology and decentralization, but we're looking at projects that are actually in the ad tech and digital content space. So it's an exciting new world that we've been exploring here at LTR Digital. Really the focus behind these videos, if you've seen some of my other videos with interviews with other projects, I always like to state that the purpose of these videos is to help advertising executives, brand managers, brand advertisers, agency peers understand this developing new world that we're looking at. And it's developing rapidly, I would say over the last 2 quarters for sure. I mean, it's just a lot of activity going on, and it's been exciting to follow. So I wanted to help drive adoption in this space. First of all, drive awareness and adoption in this space by looking at some of these projects that are out there getting traction and growing interest amongst their communities. We've looked at a few ad tech projects. We haven't looked at any digital content projects yet, and we will be having some coming up, some social media platforms. But today we're looking at another project, and it's a project called Kind Ads. And I was fortunate enough to get one of their founding advisors on board, and that's somebody that has a name that's very well known in the digital marketing, online marketing space. Matter of fact, has quite a pedigree. You'll know the name based on some of the projects that he's been a part of, or has created, or has brought to the market. Products like Kissmetrics, Crazy Egg, and Quick Sprout. Now, when I first engaged with him about coming on to the video series that we're doing for the interview, I said, well, it's going to be a celebrity interview. And he said, no, I'm not a celebrity. And I was thinking, you know what, in my sad little world, he is a celebrity because he's got quite a followership and a very respected name in our industry. And that's Mr. Neil Patel. Mr. Patel, welcome.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for the kind words.
Yeah. You know what? I was going to say, you're not my first celebrity interview. I did one with Rand Fishkin about 5 years ago.
Cool.
So, you know, it's a small world. It's a big world, but it's actually a pretty small world that we operate in. And that's going to lead me to my first question, because your background in online, whether we called it online marketing, digital marketing, we've called it a lot of things over the years. Internet marketing. With your background, you're going to be like me, and you're going to remember when YouTube was new, when AdWords was a new idea.
Yeah.
Let's see, when we did advertising by emailing the website owner.
Do you remember Google back in the day when they weren't sure how they were going to make money? They were thinking about just putting banners everywhere on Google.
You know, everybody just loved the banners back then. And not to get into the organic side, but SEO was spending all hours of the night emailing other website owners and said, if you link to me, I'll link to you.
Yeah. Yes. The old school reciprocal linking, in which
reciprocity. Yes. Yeah. So before we get into the project, before we start talking about Kind Ads, let me kind of take a step back and talk to you from as an agency person to agency person, marketer to marketer, because that's really what this is about. So with your background, what are you seeing? I mean, there had to have been something about blockchain and decentralization that made you say, hey, I need to be looking at that. I need to be going there. I need to be looking at these projects, or maybe even driving a project. What is your initial take on that?
Yeah, sure. I haven't driven a project yet, but the way I look at the whole space is, if you look at the ad world right now, the internet, right, specifically, Google and Facebook control a large portion of the web. Huge portion. Google has a market cap of 700+ billion. Facebook's at around 500+ billion. They take content from the web, whether it's other people like you creating it on your website, and then Google, you know, taking content from it, ranking it, and then monetizing, and then keeping pretty much all the money, or people contributing content to Facebook, and then monetizing and then keeping all the money. And I understand why they're doing it that way, right? Business is business. But I look at it and I'm like, crap. I'm a publisher. I own an ad agency and I see the advertisers, and I myself am also an advertiser. And I'm like, creating all this content, spending all this money, yet these middlemen are keeping a majority of the money. And it's just so ridiculous because the costs keep going up and up, and it's harder for businesses to compete. And I remember years and years ago, I was managing a campaign for General Motors. They were spending $5 million a month, all right, just on paid ads. And this was before the 2008 crash. So back then, $5 million a month was a lot more than, what people spend now. But back then, that, it's still a significant amount now. But back then, people weren't spending as much as they were right now.
Sure.
And you look at that, and I remember I lost a General Motors account because out of that $5 million in monthly spend, I came in and I got them the same results for spending $3 million because I learned that $2 million wasn't producing an ROI, so I just cut the fat. And I lost the account because the person was just like, whoa, why'd you do this? I'm not going to get the budget for the next quarter. You just cut my budget. And I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. You're not making money from it anyways. You can still have the budget. Just go spend it somewhere else. And he's like, no, you're fired, right? And I lost the account. And that's a short version of the story, but I lost the account. And you have these big corporations who are just willing to spend whatever because it just doesn't matter for them, right? They'll spend it on the branding, and it jacks up the ad costs. And, a lot of small and medium businesses struggle because it just keeps getting the ad costs to keep going up each and every single year. And if you don't believe me, look at Google's market cap or Facebook's market cap. Keeps increasing because their ad costs keep, revenue keeps going up. And I was like, what happens if you just cut out the middleman, right? The people who produce the content would make way more money. And then the advertisers would save a lot of money, and it's a win-win. And best of all, you can control it so that way these middlemen don't have all your data, and we have all these issues of these big companies taking your data and doing crazy, ridiculous things with it, right? And I'm not saying they're trying to manipulate people's data and use it in a bad way.
Right.
That's a lie. Like, if you look at the Facebook fiasco that happened, yes, is Facebook in the wrong? Of course they are. But a lot of these companies, even though they're in the wrong, they're not necessarily trying to manipulate the situation too much where they're trying to do whatever they want with your data, because I do believe the governments are trying to do a decent job. Like GDPR, I think was a good thing for the users. Hopefully the US has some similar types of regulations that come out sooner or later. But you look at it, it was like Cambridge Analytica was using this data in a bad way. And I'm like, these big companies, whether they want people to or they don't want them, it's just like because they have so much data, sometimes people figure out ways to get in there and just misuse it in a really terrible way. I was just like, with the whole ecosystem with blockchain, I'm like, wait, you can solve a lot of these problems.
Absolutely. You had mentioned the middleman. This is something that I have shared. Every now and then I put this up on the camera. So there's the Adtech and MarTech ecosystem currently. I don't usually put it any closer to the camera to help so people can read it, because it won't matter. You can't read it when it's here anyway. And it's just a very confusing, frustrating, the lack of transparency and the frustration that comes with trying to operate in that ecosystem. I mean, that's the space that we're currently at. So, I applaud projects like Kind Ads that are saying, not just how can we make advertising, these are all just my opinions, right? I'm just looking at these from my perspective as somebody that's been doing this for a long time. But not only, when I look at Kind Ads, a project like Kind Ads saying, not only are you trying to make advertising better, I think these projects are really, it's democratizing the internet, and it's trying to make the internet better. And when the internet's better, it's going to be a better experience for both publishers and advertisers. So hopefully we continue to work for it, and I'm just very glad that I can advocate for these and introduce these projects to people. So,
it's funny, when I first got pitched by the founders to help them with their project, because like they knew I was in this space, and I've known the founders for a while. They're just like, we want to democratize the internet, and those are the exact words that they use. I remember on my call with them, they're like, we want to democratize the internet. and they run ad agencies. So they're just like, this is a pain in the butt. All these people keeping the, doing shady stuff with the data. They're keeping all the money. And I was like, this is a good point. And I've always wanted to do something similar as well. It's not going to be easy, whether it's Kind or Bat or anyone in the blockchain space. Like, it's not an easy task. And I think everyone has a long journey to go. It's funny. I was talking to someone earlier today. They're like, oh, the market's really down. What do you think about the news? I'm like, I don't really pay attention on a daily basis. Like, yeah, you're going to have regulations. Things will go up and down. I'm like, who's going to build real stuff? And I think it's going to take some time before we see more projects actually building and creating things live. Because it's like, there's still a lot of crap and bullshit in the space. I'm not just saying in the advertising space. I'm just saying in the whole blockchain space. But
Sure.
more and more of it's getting fixed and weeded out over time, which is great.
Well, even though I've been involved with it as, again, not to make these videos from a crypto fanatics perspective, but, I've been an advocate, maybe because of my crazy libertarian ways, but I've been an advocate of blockchain and cryptocurrency, going back to 2014 as an investor and a trader. So there's certainly that whole community. And I know whether I'm in the Telegram groups or whoever I'm talking to, yes, absolutely. Investors and people getting involved in the crypto and being excited about the crypto side of things, yeah, they're important. But, my eye on the prize is the user. People that are actually someday going to log into the platform and use it as a tool, and the underlying token and all that type of, all those things. Those need to come, and only all of us talking about it and introducing these ideas to people and advocating for it is going to drive that. So I concur with you 100%. We've got a long ways to go, but the vision is pretty ambitious.
It definitely, and I love the vision, not just what Kind's doing, but everyone in the space is doing, and I think it's great. You fast forward 3 to 5 years. I know that may seem like a long time, but it really isn't. I think this landscape is going to get much better. You're going to start seeing some more serious projects, and these big companies will have no choice but to look at the whole space and probably enter as well. But it was funny. I was at a little meetup, a crypto dinner or meetup, whatever you want to call it, last week. And when I was there, it was someone in the group was just like, yeah, I've made over $50 million on Ethereum. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. He's just like, well, I didn't put in much. I bought it when it first came out. And I was like, oh, good for you. And he's like, I'll tell you the key to a successful project. And this was him telling the whole table. And he was like, all that matters is your investors and how much hype you can create. And I was laughing. I'm like, that may exist right now, but I'm like, that's not going to last in the long run. I'm like, just like anything, you got to build a real business, have real usage, be solving a real problem that people are facing. It's like, that's the only way you're going to have longevity, right? And I'm like, if everyone goes in the mentality of like, hey, you just raise money from like big names and you just create a ton of hype and, FUD, I'm like, or I don't even know what the word FUD is, but the fear of missing out, I don't know, whatever they call that.
FOMO, yeah.
Yeah, FOMO. And I was just like, you got to build real businesses. So I'm like, reminds me of the .com boom back in the day where these companies had like valuations of $10 billion and they were not even generating revenue and their idea wasn't even that big. And I was like, all right, this isn't going to last forever, but.
Well, you can come to this from a unique perspective because you have brought successful products to the market. I mean, we talked, I mentioned Kissmetrics, Crazy Egg, Quick Sprout. So now let's take that and then let's go to Kind Ads and kind of introduce us to Kind Ads and what was the vision there. And you know what? Let's say I'm a CMO or I'm a agency owner. What do I need to know about Kind Ads?
Yeah, so the model was quite simple, in which there's a few different channels. I was talking with the president of Overstock. This was in 2017, and he was mentioning to me, we were breaking down what are the most lucrative channels for Overstock. Now I know the Overstock team has T0 is their project.
Yeah.
But in general, right? They still make a shit ton of money from Overstock.com, the e-commerce site that not too many people talk about because Amazon crushed them, but yet they're still worth, I don't know, hundreds of millions at least. And he was breaking down how 30% of their revenue comes from email. Now, being in the marketing world for so long, we all know that emails convert extremely well, right? Push notifications convert extremely well. Google ads and Facebook ads do well, but you need a ton of impressions to get enough clicks to then get enough sales, because a lot of the traffic isn't as warm. Google's quite a bit more warm than Facebook, but nothing really beats emails from a conversion standpoint. And same with push notifications. So, you know, when I was talking to Salo and Marink, and they're just like, hey, the original concept, and it's still there, is why can't there be a centralized place where you can go buy these email blasts? You can buy these push notification blasts. Because a lot of ad agencies, like I have ad agencies all around the world, right? Because we have people coming to our sites in different languages and stuff like that. So we have offices all around the world and people fulfilling, you know, services from whether it's United States or Canada or Germany, right? You know, pick the region, South America, whatever it may be. And what we found is everyone is looking for more traffic. So you do the Google ads, you do the Facebook ads. Companies aren't going to stop whether you have a better solution or not, because as long as it's profitable, they'll keep spending money. But they're also looking for more places. And one of the biggest places that they're all looking to spend is emails and push notifications. So they're hitting up all these publishers being like, could you do a blast? Could you do a blast? And there's no easy way to get it done. So Salo and Marink, where their first concept was, hey, why can't we make a easy ecosystem, a centralized place, a platform where people can go buy blasts? And the thing with that is blasts are typically high in quality, so you don't have all that bullshit. It's not as irritating as banner ads and stuff like that. And they're like, eventually you can start adding banner ads and other form of advertisements that maybe Facebook and Google are leveraging. But how can you start with a unique angle that gives you a strong foothold in the marketplace, that there's not too much competition, and then eventually you start expanding into other areas?
Okay. So as an advertiser, to understand kind ads, I'm looking at, so because we didn't really talk about the ad types. So you just mentioned the ad types, email marketing. So what kind of ads, if I were to, let's say I go to, I may, maybe not today, but eventually I'm going to go to kindads.io and I'm going to sign up for an account.
And it works. Someone can go and sign up for an account, whether you're an advertiser or publisher. There's two type of ad formats. Push notifications, you know, when you're on your browser, I know you know, but some of the people listening may not, or watching. You go on your browser and you're browsing and you see that notification from Facebook saying it's so-and-so's birthday today. But you may not be on Facebook. It's just pushing over a push notification to you or sending over. So those are two ad types that convert really well. Advertisers don't have an easy place to go and buy those right now, but through Kind, they now can do that. Publishers typically are getting irritated of slapping banners all over their sites to make money because it's ruining the user experience. But now, through Kind, they can go monetize in other ways, still get paid well, and on top of that, not irritate the users. Now, let me give you an example of this. Let's say you own a fitness company and you're selling supplements. And I have a fitness blog called Muscle for Life. And I say, you know what? You're selling an amazing product. I believe in it. I like it. And you're just like, Neil, can you advertise this on on Muscle for Life? And I'd be like, you know what? I love your product. I've been using it myself. I was actually going to talk about it. Sure, why not? Because I've used it, I've tested it, and my readers are getting results, or they would get results using this product because I love it and I know all the ingredients. They're organic, they're natural, it's not a bullshit product. So I'm like, yeah, I would love to blog about it and do email blasts and stuff like that. Through Kind, you now have the option of doing that, connecting them, and then they're like, oh, cool. I'm now emailing all of my readers. They're getting educated on this. I'm telling them, yes, this is a paid ad, but I was using this product anyways, and it's worked well for me, and I was going to recommend it. But might as well get paid for it at the same time, because not only do I like it and use it, and I was going to tell you about it, I was also getting money for it. And then the visitors who are reading your blog were like, oh, wow, this is a really cool email blast that he sent breaking down the 30 days, taking pictures of Neil using this supplement, and here's the results from it, right? Like when you get that granular, the advertiser is going to get more conversions. The user is going to be like, oh, this isn't spammy. And me as a publisher, I feel better because I'm providing an amazing user experience to my users and talking to them about amazing products.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about the publisher, and then we're going to come back to advertiser with maybe some more questions. So we're that blog owner, that fitness blog owner. We're running that fitness blog, and I go to kindads.io. I sign up as a publisher because I see when you go there, you can pick I'm a publisher, I'm an advertiser. What's the mechanics behind it then? I cheated. Yes, I read the white paper, so I understand the project, but I'm just hypothetically, because
you verify your site.
What's that?
So most of the people that sign up to kindads.io, as you mentioned, are publishers or advertisers. So the process is you as a publisher, you go there, you're signing up, you have to verify the site is yours, because that way you don't want people selling ads on sites that aren't theirs. You got to fill in details. I was talking with one of the guys on the team yesterday. They're also adding in the ability to tie in Google Analytics data and stuff like that and share. And you can actually see the quality of the traffic, the people, etc. And Kind will do some analysis. And then you're off to the races. You can pick how much you want for specific advertisements. And it's not going to be generic like, buy this banner, buy this email, cost X, Y, and Z. Kind will connect the advertisers and the publishers, let them communicate and figure out what's a good fit for both. Because right now, let's say you have a website, you run Google AdSense, they throw up whatever they want to throw up.
Right.
You don't really have much control. As a publisher, you want to be picking, you want to make sure that you like and you believe in what you're putting on your website. You want to make sure that users, your visitors, will love that the stuff that you're selling them is good for them. So we want to make it, or Kind wants to make it, where you are in control. You can say yes, you can say no, you can dictate the type of campaign. Instead of saying, yeah, we're going to do this banner campaign or this email, you can talk with the advertisers and pick how you want to do the campaign that you feel will be the most beneficial for your website readers or your blog readers, or your whatever it may be.
So what is as a publisher, what is my ad inventory? Because we know we got to stop thinking of banners, because when people think publishers and advertising, they think of the banners. And here we'll probably just focus on or talk about the push notification or the push messaging. So again, I'm that publisher, but it really starts with, once I'm logged in, I got to verify that I own the website. And then from what I understand, there's going to be probably some JavaScript that I put on into my code. Much like most website owners are already familiar with. And then do I determine how much ad inventory I have, or how many ads I want to show on how does that all work?
Yeah, no, it's purely customized. So the model behind Kind is, instead of traditional ads where you have a website and you just continually have ads, why can't advertisers pay you a much more premium amount, because you're cutting out the middleman so they have more money, for something that's truly customized? Because if you own a supplement, or if you own a fitness site and I'm an advertiser and I just throw up banners for supplements, it's not really going to convert well, even though you're a fitness website. It has to be more targeted. For example, if you did a whole 30-day review of taking a supplement and took pictures and broke down the good and the bad of taking it, that is going to convert so much better than just throwing up a banner.
Sure.
So yes, you wouldn't put ads on your site 24/7. Everything would be customized, so it truly provides value to your website visitors. And of course, you generate more tokens for that as well. And then at the same time, you don't have to constantly be running ads all over your site 24/7. You can if you want, but the goal is, hey, most ads suck. Like if you look at Facebook, I still run Facebook ad campaigns myself. In many cases, ads getting served like 300-400 times before I get even one click, right? Yep. It's like literally, I'm not even getting one click. You're talking about sometimes I'm having 1,000 impressions on an ad to potentially get one click over to my site. This is terrible.
Yeah.
That just means I'm irritating people with stuff that they don't want to see. Like just imagine 1,000 people see something and only one person clicks. It means that most people don't want to see it.
Absolutely.
So clients want to keep showing people ads 24/7. Their goal is, hey, let's show ads to the right people at the right time. And let's do stuff that really benefits them versus just blanketing, just tons of crap ads everywhere.
So for that publisher advertiser relationship then, so I'm an advertiser, I bought a push notification, or I bought that ad unit on this fitness blog. Somebody gets served the push notification, they engage with that push notification, and is that where the blockchain starts coming in? It's recording these things and it's basically keeping the books on performance?
Keeping the books on the quality, not just the performance, making sure no one really controls all the data. Publishers keep their own data, and it's reported right through you providing the data to the advertisers, and through solutions like GA or whatever email solution or push. And it's just connecting and putting all the pieces together. But more so, it's really evaluating the quality, because a big problem in the advertising space right now is there's a lot of crap publishers which will manipulate data and say that they're providing a ton of value, and you have a lot of click fraud and buyer fraud, and is their goal is to make sure eventually that goes down, eventually ideally to zero. Now, it's not an easy task to do that, and of course you're still going to have some at the beginning, but it'll go down more and more over time, because it's all possible to solve with technology. It just takes time.
Sure. So for the consumer, now let's flip over to the consumer. I'm a consumer, and I'm to kind of foreshadow, go into explanation, you're operating as a Chrome plugin, right? It's an extension on Chrome, at least I understand it.
Yes, the user can end up sharing their personal data so they can get better targeting for ads. And when they see those ads, they would get compensated with kind tokens.
Now, did I see something also in the white paper that there was mention, you're talking about identity verification to be able to, am I mistaken there? There was some mention in the white paper about maybe Civic or some other things for identity verification to verify, yep, that was a real person that engaged with your ad.
Correct. So there's been a lot of, I was talking with the team last week, and there's a lot of back and forth because some of it is still in development. The platform for advertisers and publishers is up and it works. Okay. The consumer part of consumers getting compensated and all that kind of stuff isn't live yet. I know they are working on that. But their big thing was it's like, look, verify it's a real person, and of course they should get compensated for sharing their data for better targeting.
Okay.
So, because you can also have people sharing false information, not knowing it's a real person, and then you're having people getting compensated, right? So.
Right, and there was also the option, as some of the projects that I've talked to have the feature or the ability for the end user to say, no, I'm just opting out. I choose not to see ads.
Well, it should be up to you as a user. If you don't want to see them, you shouldn't have to see them. If you want to see them, you should see them.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. And then just briefly touching, we'll call it the tokenomics of it. The token behind kind ads is called the
kind token.
There you go. Okay, I didn't want to assume it's a kind token. And myself as an end user, by engaging with the ads, I earn these tokens, or we'll call it a loyalty rewards program. I don't want to scare people off by referring to tokens if you don't understand cryptocurrency or if you believe it's a bit confusing. So there's some people that are starting to refer to them as, reward tokens or just different things. So it's actually very simple, but they can earn these tokens, and then what would that end user do with these tokens?
They can buy ads, they can sell them to other people. It's up to them on whatever they want to do with them.
Okay, so my Aunt Mary, she earns these tokens, she can gift them, or she can, I mean, because she's being rewarded for what she was already doing
Correct.
anyway.
Yes.
So it's simply part of that democratization or the acknowledgement amongst advertisers. We'll blame the advertisers for everything, but it's acknowledgement of the advertisers that the end user, their data has value. They have value on the internet, so why not reward them? But then also the publisher for working hard to get the traffic to their website and building their content. They can earn tokens as well, correct?
Yes, because the publishers will, by working hard, keeping up a good quality, you're going to get more advertisers, but also part of the system is the publishers who have the best scores and the reputation. There's like a little pool where they get a bit extra, so it encourages people to maintain a high quality.
Okay, well that's interesting. Let's stay on. Let's talk about that because I thought that was kind of unique. Maybe anybody that's been around digital marketing or online marketing for a while, they're familiar with things like Alexa scores and scores like that. So you actually have a scoring mechanism in kind ads. Is that reflected in the ad platform that I can pick quality, or how does that work in the ad platform? Is the scoring mechanism?
Yeah, the scoring mechanism is just all on the back end.
Okay, all right. So I'm not going to see that as the advertiser. I don't choose AAA quality websites or anything like that. Okay.
No, but they are coming out with something for premium listings. So premium being like the ones with the best scores, highest quality traffic. So instead of saying like, here's a website score, it's just easier to say good, bad, right? Because in reality, it's either you're good or you're bad. It's like there's not really much more to it.
And then who sets the pricing for the ads?
Publishers. You can pick the website. You control the costs. You want more tokens, less tokens for that. It's purely up to you.
So it kind of goes back to the early days of ad buys where you would contact the publisher and you would kind of negotiate a price or
correct, but they can also list their price publicly, right? So
okay,
go and just pick to make it quicker, or publishers could just negotiate and have everything customized.
Okay, and then finally the advertising.
And the reasons you would have to do that is if you look at traditional ad plays and publishers and how they monetize, to keep things simple, a dollar is a dollar. The problem with cryptocurrencies, at least right now, is they vary a lot. There's so much fluctuation every single day in the value of these tokens. People could change their mind. One day they could say they want more. One day they could say they want less. It really comes up to them. It's also supply and demand as well. Unlike dollars, there's an unlimited supply of pretty much dollars. With tokens, there's a limited amount. So as the token supply, as a demand increases, people could say, hey, there's so much demand. These tokens are more rare. We're willing to accept advertisers for less tokens just because we want them now, right? So.
Sure. And as an advertiser, am I doing this as like a CPM basis, or do I do it based on flight dates of a campaign, or
flat rates? So you pick, you negotiate, goes live, flat rates for that time period.
Okay. All right. So back to the advertiser. How do I secure my tokens to get started? Do I purchase them through my account, or what's the mechanism? Maybe now, and I don't know if that would change over time, but how do I secure my initial tokens to start advertising?
Yeah, they would hit up someone on the Kind team, get the tokens to go from there, right? So, and then they can just start cranking away and start going between publishers and advertisers, and you start seeing the usage.
Okay. Okay, excellent. So I am going to we do have a few questions. I'm going to pop over here now. Ooh, actually, we got a lot more than, wow, we got a lot now. Let's see. This is from Sherry Kramer Hussey. I would disagree about banner ads. We've been training ourselves to ignore banner ads for years, but push notifications seem much more invasive. Okay. But you've done, Neil, you and your team, you looked at push notifications and you made that decision based on performance of that ad type.
Yes, because they convert much better. And we found that through surveying, people prefer to see things over push notification, assuming it's relevant. I do agree, people hate push notifications if you just start sending them 10 spammy notifications every day and it has nothing related to what they want.
So would a user, would they be limited to how many push notifications you would only see so many per session, or?
No, there's no limitation, but keep this in mind. If you send too many, it's going to irritate people. Your score is going to go down as a publisher.
There you go. So
it's in your best incentive to not send out tons of notifications. It's in your best incentive to only send out notifications that truly benefit your website visitors and readers.
Because if you do that to your website visitors, you're not being kind.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, so let's go to a few more questions. And you let me know, Neil, I know you're a busy guy, so you got things to do. I personally could talk this stuff all day long. So you let me know.
Yeah, I have like another 7-8 minutes.
Okay, I'm just looking through here. I'm just scrolling through here, seeing that. Okay, so this is, and oh, maybe it's Shy, S-H-A-I, Shy Kramer. How does Kind Ads target ad fraud exactly?
Yeah, so the way there's ad fraud, if you look at most ad deals, an advertiser goes and they purchase ads on a CPM basis or a CPC basis. But with Kind, there is no CPM or CPC. It's flat rates. So one, you're dealing with, it's in the publisher's, it's not in their best interest to just send fake traffic because they're not getting compensated on CPMs or CPCs, right? Everything is more custom tailored because that's what provides value to the user. Secondly, because there's scores with publishers, it's in their interest not to just send a ton of traffic that doesn't convert because then their score is going to go down. Third, because the connections through, the syncs through, you know, the MailChimps of the world, the subscribers, the push screws, the convert kits, etc. Publishers and advertisers, they're both seeing the same data on here's how many unique opens, here's how many clicks, right? There's all these tracking mechanisms in place, so there's more transparencies. When you're using something like you're paying Google AdWords, you're seeing whatever numbers they're just reporting you of here's how many impressions, etc.
Right.
When someone's doing an email blast, you're connecting it. You're seeing the data from the source, not the data that the publisher claims, but from the source, the tool they use to send out the blast. Literally the same exact data that they're seeing. So by doing all of these things, plus you start having verifications who are the end users, them sharing their data, you're starting to get much more accuracy on who's seeing, who's clicking, etc. Now, even though people are getting verified, it's not like you're going to see, oh, Neil did this, or they did that, or Neil clicked on this, right? Because you still need to respect people's privacy too. Like, it shouldn't be where just because you know someone's a person, it doesn't mean every little thing about them is going to be tracked, in which is like, here's everything Neil does on the internet. Like,
right.
It's getting a bit too creepy.
Well, I know for me, when I think of the potential of these types of projects, myself as, you know, operated many years as a Google partner agency, still do a lot in the AdWords environment, and on the GDN or on the display side of things, it would just be nice to, I mean, we all see the increasing amount of I'll call it click behavior, but the bot traffic.
Yes.
And the fraudulent traffic, and when we see sessions that are under a second in length, and we go through all these hoops to try and filter it out, get a better picture, but sounds like something like Kind Ads is going to be able to help a lot with that.
Yeah, and also the incentives are aligned. If you're not paying per click, right? Like, why would people want to go and keep creating bot traffic to just keep generating fake clicks? They could, but then their scores will show, hey, you got a ton of clicks. These clicks didn't convert into any revenue. You have crap traffic. you're a shit publisher.
No, I've got another question here. It looks like, I think Cypher's throwing you a softball here. How much percent does, looks like the question, how much percent goes to kind?
0.
What's that?
0.
0. So yeah, that's why I think he was throwing you a softball. Because that was one of the things that your team, when I was talking to them on Telegram, they wanted to make sure, they said, hey, we want to mention some of these things, but that is no cost to publisher, advertiser, or anyone. So how does that, I mean, kind ads keeps nothing, right?
Keeps nothing.
Yeah, there you go, folks. You heard it from the man himself. So let me see if there's anything here. We talked about publishers are pre-screened to ensure reputation. So we talked about that scoring mechanism, but they did mention a couple times on here, like some bullet points about video. It says video not currently offered, and it says not focused on video ads.
Correct. Yeah, video is not a channel that kind will support in the near future when it comes to monetization.
But did I see something about possibly like chat ecosystems?
You'll start getting into, because there's chat ecosystems like the Facebook messengers of the world, and there's a lot of people migrating into chat. So yeah, in the future, you'll start seeing more things like chat and videos and stuff like that. But videos aren't, I don't see videos coming to fruition in the next 3 months. Okay.
So I do want to respect your time, and I certainly I'm thrilled that you're able to join us here today. So the project right now, because what I've been trying to do is not present projects that they're in that like early, they're pre-sale or ICO stage. I mean, I really wanted projects that are out there, they're doing something, they're putting a product on the market. Kind Ad certainly is meeting that requirement. But for the roadmap, and for people that are not familiar, all these projects have like a roadmap. They want to launch this by a certain date. Their goals. Where's Kind Ads on its roadmap? Are you on target? Have there
ahead quite a bit? I don't know the exact how much ahead, but if I'm not mistaken, at least a month. I could be wrong, but I know it's ahead for sure.
Okay.
At least a month.
And are you launched? Are you launched currently? Is this North America only?
No, English. So more so
English speaking.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you joined us on the live stream, there were some other questions, but again, I want to be respectful of Neil's time. If you have any questions, you can. How do they get a hold if they have questions? They would go to kindads.io. Do they reach out to you on Twitter?
I'm flexible. They reach out to me directly, Twitter, Facebook, shoot me an email. My contact form's on neilpatel.com. They can go to kindads.io, anywhere, whatever's convenient for people.
Okay. I mean, I know Telegram is a very robust community, and I'm there frequently.
Works too. They can go on Telegram and ask there. So.
Yeah, and also for people that are joining us with these interview series videos, you can reach out to me here at LTR Digital. I'll happily point you in the right direction. I will put the links to some of these things in the recorded version of this video. Mr. Patel, I appreciate you very much. Did you have anything I mean, I got a lot of questions for you, but again, I want to respect your time. Did you have anything that you wanted to close out with?
That's it for mine. Thanks.
Okay. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today as we looked at Kind Ads with Neil Patel. Continue to stay tuned into the YouTube channel for future videos. And I always forget to mention this. If you like these videos and you're watching the recorded version, hit the subscribe button. It's going to be down in that corner. I always forget to say that. And if there's any projects that maybe that you run across that you have questions about, or maybe you want me to get them on a future video, reach out to me. There's a lot of them that I'm following, and I do have some more coming out in the future. In the meantime, Mr. Patel, you have a great rest of your week, and I will probably see you in Telegram.
Sounds good. Take care.
All right, take care, everybody. See you next time on LTR on the Blockchain.